Welcome to Misaligned Learning. I'm Jackie, and today we're going to be talking about finding the ideal resolution when we're modeling something round or organic in Maya. When we're thinking about the appropriate resolution, we're trying to find that sweet spot where we don't want to undershoot and see any faceting at the final render, and we don't want to overshoot and end up with too dense of a resolution that either makes our file heavier or is harder to work with down the pipeline. So we're trying to find that middle ground. There are a couple things to consider with this. One of the main things is how many subdivisions is it going to go through either later in the pipeline or at render. So here's the disk here, and this has 6 sides around, and then here it is with a display preview set to 2 subdivision levels. So what this is telling me is that at render, it's going to get 2 subdivisions added. Now the other question is, how much real estate is this object going to take on our screen? If we're modeling something like a small disk, a subdivision this low would hold up fine. This here with the 2 subdivisions appears round to me without any faceting. However, if we're getting up really close, this is something that's going to take up a lot of the screen. If we look at it even with 2 subdivisions, we're seeing faceting, where we can see the breakdown of the straight edges where it's supposed to appear rounded. What we can do is increase the resolution of our round object, so the resolution on the perimeter here that we're looking at. Now we can get even closer before this starts to fall apart up here. So I'm zooming in, and then it's about here I'm starting to see the faceting. As we increase the resolution, this one here is 12, now I can get even closer to it with the subdivisions before it starts to break down. And then this last one here is with 20, and as you can see, we can get pretty close without seeing any faceting. But there's something else you may notice. If you're looking at these series of shapes and how they started and their display preview, you'll see the jump in their volume. So this shape here gets significantly smaller when it goes through its subdivisions. When we start with a higher resolution, the jump is less extreme. So we want to consider that as well when we're modeling, and not necessarily just go for the minimum, but for something that's going to possibly maintain our volume a little bit better, also depending on what we're modeling and if other things are connected to it or its position and volume matter in the scene. Another thing to consider is which thing you have options in. If it's possible that our subdivision level is something that can be changed depending on the type of shot, then that could increase and resolve our problem. So if here we see our faceting, if I go into my smooth mesh preview settings here in my attribute editor, and I crank this up to 4 subdivisions, you'll see that we can get significantly closer because these are exponential settings. So now, even though we had an extremely low polygon model here, it holds up just fine at render and it appears round. So our 2 options are to either increase the resolution of our geometry or increase the resolution of our subdivisions, but to consider how much real estate on our screen and also the volume that we need to maintain. I hope that cleared things up for you. If you enjoy my demos, please subscribe to my channel.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoy these demos, please subscribe to my channel.